Okay guys, so we're going to be starting in Chapter 1, Lesson 1. The lesson today is evaluating algebraic expressions, and I will do my best with what I have. Some of my technology is not working. I know you maybe can't read this very well, but that's okay. You can follow along in your textbook. We're on page 2 of the Algebra 1 book. So these first two examples are pretty basic. I'll work them out for you just to refresh your memory. It says evaluate expressions with one variable. Evaluate each expression for x equals 8. So on A, problem A, we have this. And if you remember, these lines, when they're straight up and down, are absolute value. Absolute value means the number's distance away from 0. So we have 4 minus x plus 2, and it says when x equals 8. So the first thing you always do on these types of problems is rewrite the problem. So we have absolute value of 4 minus 8 plus 2. So we do what's in here just like Pemdas, okay, even though these are absolute value lines. 4 minus 8 is negative 4. We don't drop these though like parentheses because we haven't solved for it yet. This is a problem in itself. The absolute value of negative 4, distance can never be negative, and its distance away from 0 is 4. So 4 plus 2, and our solution is 6. Okay, pretty basic. This next one, we have square root of 2x. And if you notice, it says minus 3 outside of the square root, so that's not included in there. So when a number and a letter are side by side, that means you're multiplying. So we have 2 times 8, and then minus 3 out here. 2 times 8 is 16. And I know you'll know the square root of 16 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay, so what I want you to do before we move on, let me scroll down. Or we're just going to move on. I was going to have you try some. We'll do that in a minute. We'll go on and move on to the next type of question. So now we have where we have two variables, x and y. Let me make some room. Okay, so the first problem, 2x plus y. Sorry, 2x plus 3y. And they tell me x equals negative 3, y equals 4. Okay, let's make sure y'all can see that. Okay, so x is negative 3. So if I plug that in, I have 2 times negative 3 plus 3 times 4. Remember, first thing is always rewrite your problem plugging in your new numbers. So now we can solve. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 plus 3 times 4 is 12. Negative 6 plus 12 is 6. Okay. And then this next problem, I like this one because it probably looks really scary, but it's not. So we have x plus y over x squared. Again, x is negative 3, y is 4. So we have negative 3 plus 4 over negative 3 squared. Now, this is very important because it's negative. This square up here is going to the x, so we have a negative 3 times itself. A negative times a negative we know is positive. If this negative had been outside the parentheses, that is different. Since it's in here, let's go ahead and solve this. Negative 3 plus 4 is 1. Negative 3 squared, it comes out to negative 3 times negative 3, which is positive 9. We get 1 over 9. Okay, let's scroll down. As you can tell, these problems are just getting a little bit trickier, a little bit trickier. I want to see how many we have total. 5. We're not doing that. Okay, cool. We're already almost done. Okay, so this first example says 2 times, we have 9a squared minus 2b plus 3c. So now we have 3 variables, a, b, and c. And on this problem, they tell us a is 2 over 3, b is 9, c is negative 4. So the first thing we do, if you remember, we plug it in. We rewrite it and plug in our numbers. So we have 2 times 9a squared. The a is being squared, so I have 9 times 2 over 3 squared minus 2 times b is 9 plus 3 times c, and c is negative 4. So when you look at it like this looks really complicated and confusing. We just have to remember our order of operations, Pemdas, okay? So we start with parentheses. Well, we have these big parentheses. So then, inside those parentheses, I start over if I have any other parentheses. Now, don't be confused. That means where there is something to solve in parentheses. If I look, here's parentheses. There's nothing to solve in there. It's just a number. So those do not technically count as working something out in parentheses. So the first thing we would look at next is our exponent. So 2 over 3 to the second power means 2 over 3 times 2 over 3. Okay? And that is 4 over 9. So I'm going to rewrite that. So I have this 2 out front. 9 times 4 over 9 minus, and I'm going to go ahead and multiply some stuff because that's what comes after exponents. It's multiply or divide. 2 times 9 is 18. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. So I have plus negative 12. That is the exact same thing as just saying minus 12. Negative and minus are interchangeable. Okay, so next we've got to multiply right here inside these big parentheses. This becomes super easy because when you're multiplying fractions, you can just put a whole number over 1. But since this is the same as this bottom, they cancel and we're just left with positive 4. So we have 2 times 4 minus 18 minus 12. Now it's just addition and subtraction in our parentheses. Well, subtraction. 4 minus 18 is negative 12. Minus 12 is negative 24. Oh, I messed up. That is negative. I messed up right there. But it comes out to negative 26. I apologize for that. Then when you do 2 times negative 26, you get negative 52. This problem takes a lot longer to work out, okay? So take your time, because as you see, I messed up right here on this step, just on my subtraction. Plug that in your calculator, double check yourself. Even if you think you have it right, like I did, don't do what I do, learn from what I say. Type it in your calculator, double check yourself. So the next problem we're gonna do, and then I want you to try some problems on your own. We have the square root of b minus 3a plus 2c. Okay, so b is 9. So the first thing we do is rewrite it, plugging in your numbers. So I have square root of 9 minus 3 times 2 over 3 plus 2 times negative 4. Now, we don't have any parentheses or exponents to solve for, so we just have to do our multiplication first. Right here, this is kind of like the other problem. We have a 3 out here, a whole number, and a 3 on bottom. Those cancel, and you are just left with 2. So I have square root of 9 minus 2 plus 2 times negative 4. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. So I have square root of 9 minus 2. And since it was negative 8, I'm just going to go ahead and say minus 8. Now square root of 9 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 minus 8 is negative 7. Okay, now you might be feeling a little overwhelmed. That's okay. Math is about learning and making mistakes. I don't expect you to get every single problem right off the bat. If you do, that is awesome. If you don't, that's okay too. So what I want you to do, let me scroll down. I want you to do these 4 problems. I don't know if you can read those very well. I'll zoom in. Maybe, if it'll let me. There it is. These 4 problems are right here, okay? You can pause it right here if you need to write those down. Again, we are on page 3 or 4 now, wherever it says monitoring progress, okay? What I will do, I'll come over to the board and I will write those 4 problems down if you can't see them. So you can see them there. Write those 4 problems down, work them out, and then we'll go over them in class. Thanks for watching my video. Now I'm going to write them on the board. Also, if you're still watching this and you are not in my Algebra 1 class, thanks for watching. Hopefully my videos will get better. I am new at this, new to all this technology. I hope to start incorporating more as we get it hooked up, and I hope you want to come back for more content. So these 4 problems are, the first one, we have 2 times the square root of m plus 31. m equals -6. The next problem we have is 4s minus t. S equals 3 over 4. T equals 1/2. Next one is 1 minus the absolute value of a divided by b when a is -2 over 3 and b is 2. Last problem, it gets harder. 5s minus the square root of r divided by 6. R is 9. S is 1.5. Remember, plug your numbers in first. Double check in your calculator. You got this.